Hey guys, I think we are live. Can you maybe let us know in the chat if we are live? Not everybody at the same time, but I think Lars is typing.
Yeah,
Ah,
nice one. Likewise, my man. Likewise.
I hope you guys doing fine. I think it's good to wait a minute or two because we have quite a lot of attendees. At least they registered, but only 11 people are here. Dus let's wait a minute or two and then we dive in directly.
Great, let's do that.
Yeah. We hope everybody is ready for the holidays. I think our team is working next week also, but I think the most people are stopping this week. Are you going to work, Quint?
Uh, Unfortunately, I am. Like first and second Christmas Day, I'm having a day off. New Year's Day as well, of course. But the rest of the week, I honestly don't find it like a too big of a thing to work because the amount of meetings they are like minimum. So I can actually do things instead of talking a lot about things. So in my opinion, I honestly like to work in those kind of weeks because the amount of client meetings is very low. And I still have some targets I want to fix before the end of the year. So yeah, I'm probably gonna work.
Great to hear, man. Yeah, for me the same. So, yeah, I don't
That's me.
know if we need an introduction for you. I think everybody knows you already, but maybe you can give a small introduction who you are. And yeah, then we can start from there. Then I think, yeah, nobody shows later on. So let's do it.
Cool. Yeah, I actually have like the introduction sheet at the end, but just to wrap it up in a nutshell, my name is Quint van der Meer, 32 years old. Started working around 9 years ago as a Google Ad specialist. First 5.5 years for three different agencies. 3 years I started working as a freelancer. 2 years ago, started working with Taskforce, and at the beginning of this year, started working as a managing director at Taskforce slash PPC strategist slash Google Ad specialist.
Yes. Yeah, great to have you at our side. Very happy with that. So I think for today, we're going to talk about the localizer our team has built for one of our clients. Quint is diving deep into that topic. If you have any questions, I think you can send it in the chat. I will moderate it and I will pass the question through to Quint, and then we can dive into it. Of course, I think we have a presentation for 15 to 30 minutes. Yeah, and then we can see from there. We have a little bit more time if we have to. So don't be shy on the question part. Yeah, we can see from there. So, Quint, I will give you the stage.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so as the sheet is already telling, this is called our localizer, where online meets offline. This is a case regarding physical stores more than online purchase behavior. We finished second at the PPC Summit in Copenhagen, organized by Profit Metrics and Pop and Miles from the PPC Mastery. Unfortunately, second, but still proud of the result. And I think the case itself is very inspiring for other agencies or clients that have a lot of physical stores. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Because what if I could tell you that if you change one thing in your online marketing strategy, you could boost your average order value, you could boost your revenue, and you could boost your brand awareness. And I'm not talking about doubling or increasing the media budget or ad spend, because if that was the case, our case wouldn't have made it to the final three, of course, because everybody can just double the budget. But in the end, it's all about contribution margin, profits, and making sure you're setting up a structure that is sustainable and profitable in the end. And at the end of this session, we downscaled it a little bit to skip like the more complex things and the memes. but I think we can finish it in 15 minutes. And at the end of the session, everybody here will know how to scale your own clients with physical stores in a profitable way without needing to spend any extra media budget. Of course, you'll still need some hours to build everything that we're talking about, that we're going to talk about, but it doesn't have to increase the ad spend. So we are not allowed to mention the name of the brand we're actually working for. So I'm just calling it the outdoor furniture brand over here. And this specific certain outdoor furniture brand is a Dutch outdoor furniture brand, sells high-end, stylish, durable, and affordable outdoor furniture. The challenge we have with this specific client was that we need to compete in a highly competitive category with strong seasonal dynamics because like the indoor furniture uh, is being sold a lot between September and March, but from March till September, a lot of the furniture spent, or how do you say that, the furniture revenue switches to the outdoor furniture, of course. We're seeing like actually 80% of the sales is coming in the spring and the summer. So in a relative short time, all the revenue has to be made online slash offline. We also needed to increase the branded awareness and the revenue. And they wanted us to find a way how we could use PPC not only to increase performance, but also for trying to build a better brand with long-term brand recognition and brand affinity. So the one of the biggest challenges they had was how people were researching online and purchasing offline. Until now, or at least until they started working for us, they only had insights based on the local store visits, online purchases. But as some people can imagine, more than 50% of the sales were being done in the physical store, but they weren't able to track the full customer journey from searching online to purchasing offline at the local store. We did have some extra targets, so we need to increase 10% sales year on year. We weren't allowed to increase the spend year on year, and we had to boost brand awareness by 2%. The brand awareness was being measured by an external research agency to make sure that we had like the full insights. So the basics, or at least basics between quotes, we started by measuring ROPO. I don't know if everybody knows the term, but it stands for research online, purchase offline. And we started measuring that via Spotter Activate. And it was pretty complex to set up, but luckily we have some good specialists based on BigQuery and Spotler who were able to assist us um, and think about how can we capture more online email addresses to verify them in the physical store. So we implemented several things on the website. So visitors could request brochures, the new collection. Visitors could receive tailored advice, book a calendar meeting for an architect conversation, or getting advice on how to optimize their garden, so to say. Or they could create an account to log into the web shop, and when they logged in at the web shop, it was possible that they get like a discount code. So step one was just creating some extra conversion points on the website where we could fetch the email addresses. And of course, 100% is a utopia, but we were able to capture a lot of the email addresses with this way. So how does the robot work in practice? We catch the email address online and in store. When people had to buy something in the store, the staff collects the email at checkout. What we did was we made the deposit being paid via Ideal. A lot of people use their phone for it, of course. And we extra emailed the rest of the invoice, so they had to log in on the computer and fulfill the invoice on the laptop. So in that way, we had like two different touch points on two different devices to make sure that we had a bigger chance of getting the whole funnel available. And on the thank you page, Spotter registered the order and could link it via the email or the cookies and make sure to push it back into Google Ads or in Meta, including the order value and the order ID. And this gave us very new insights regarding certain products that had like a low ROAS in the Google Ads. But when we implemented this, it turned out that those products were actually having a very high ROAS. But those are the insights that you're getting when you're able to consolidate that data and push it back into the systems. So With this right implementation for Ropo, we had the right data to steer on, so this could take us to the next step. And the next step, of course, was how are we going to use and leverage this data to make the accounts even better and optimize the performance, and how we could like optimize on both channels at the same time. So
Yeah, so in this case, yeah, to break in, I think it's very important to know that we use the different data from the different stores. So each store has multiple data points in this case, and so we can see the differences between the different stores, the performance of between the stores. And I guess you're going to tell a bit more about that later. But yeah, it's not only one directory with all the offline sales, but it is many different directories from all the different stores. In this case, how many stores they have?
31.
31. Yeah. So I think that's pretty good to make sure everybody knows that.
Great context, thanks, Ruben. Indeed, with 31 stores, you can imagine that the certain stores are in certain regions where the amount of people that are living there have like a higher average income than in certain other stores and regions. But as you mentioned, I'm gonna dive into that a little later with some deeper. But first was, okay, how can we change the online marketing perspective from product level data to store level data? We did it because we wanted to take a more holistic approach to the whole brand. So we started analyzing the differences between the physical stores. So we had interviews with store staff. We extracted data from local stores. We could analyze how much the average order value was from a certain store. We could analyze how much the in-store conversion rate was. Of course, some stores had better sales teams than other stores, and they had a higher conversion rate because people were more eager to buy over there. So we started looking for those kind of external factors. In the end, we came to around 20 variables, I think, on the top of my head. But then we started downsizing them with the client. Like, okay, these are all the variables that we have. Which one are most important for you, and which one are the most logically to implement by running multiple regression analysis to answer the most important question: what really drives the revenue? And as I mentioned, we identified 20 variables, but in the end, we downsized it to five. So we had the in-store conversion rate, so the quality of the sales personnel. We had the average order value per store. We had the amount of store visitors. We had the penetration rate. So we described it as the visitors versus the whole population within 30 kilometers of the store. And we took in account market saturation, so the ad impressions within a target audience. All those five variables, we started building them out, and we extracted the data to use it for a campaign setup. I think everybody knows how the labelizer works, so we started to implement the same amount of logic in it. So each store got a conversion rate, an average order value, visitors penetration rate, market saturation, and based on the certain scores, all the physical stores got a score. And you could say the top ones are the heroes or the over index or the stars, give it a name. But in the end, we could group them and make sure that the most valuable stores got the most budget to make sure that the most revenue was being realized. We decided to implement certain weighted scorings. We use a weighted scoring approach by giving the conversion rate of the in-store the biggest amount, because we noticed that that was the biggest impact that was being made. The average order value got 25%, visitors got 20%, penetration rate got 50%, and our market saturation got 10%. So based on that, we could group the top 30 stores and group them into different quartiles. And this is where the magic happens, because now we rebranded the labelizer to the localizer. So yeah, you want to say something, Bruno?
No, no.
Oh, sorry. Uh, and we shifted from product focus to location driven marketing. The product labelizer becomes the localizer. We actually maintained the same PMAX campaign structure. So we used PMAX feed only, but we replaced the original labelizer with the localizer logic. Top stores get more budget and higher bids, and vice versa. But of course, for every part of geography that didn't contain a store, because they had like 30 stores, but it was not like every person in the whole of the Netherlands had a store in 30 kilometers. So the part that was remaining that didn't have a physical store between them and 30 kilometers, we used the original labelizer structure. And this is how it looks like in Chernobyl. We used the dynamic Google Shopping ads to set up the campaign structure. And we got invisibles, we got the potentials, we got the stars, we got the underperformers. And of course, these data points were also being optimized for every, I think it was on a weekly base, especially in the high season, the certain stores started shifting in the dynamics. But of course, that's not all, because we also had some finishing touches. Because if you have less performing stores, you don't want to say, okay, we don't want to spend anything at you guys anymore. No, we wanted to make sure that the low performing stores were able to become good performing stores in the end. So how did we do that? We had to block some some brands to make sure that they weren't visible, but we actually created a layer to gain traction and visibility for less performing stores. So we use display, we use demand gen, we use YouTube on stores with a low penetration rate, because we knew the stores had a low penetration rate. They were more likely to get more store visits. And we localized the content and the copy to make one thing clear: there's an outdoor furniture brand store near you. And we also put some different angles that we had, like new collections, new assortments, new floor plans. So there were a lot of people that had a good new reason to come back to the store if they never were there. And with the paid social ads, we also use postcode analysis to identify untapped potential. How did we do that? If your zip code, if your zip
Zip
code
code, yeah.
shows, yeah, if your zip code shows higher order volume and above average order value, you'll see more ads of that specific brand in your social feed. So in that way, we also try to optimize the paid social campaigns based on the in-store conversion rate or average order value, etc., etc. Of course, we also expanded with third-party data, because nobody is going to buy an outdoor furniture set if they live in the center of Amsterdam, for example. Yeah, you can try fitting a furniture set on a balcony, and you'll see why that's not possible. So we excluded a lot of places where we knew that certain products weren't, yeah, available or a nice fit. Let me call it like that. And in that way, also the lower quartile stores get the attention they deserve. Uh, as I mentioned, they went through a reopening with a fresh store layout. Everything else stays the same, but this made sure that our less performing stores were also getting a boost and getting the brand awareness they they were allowed to. As in the results, first we split it out from the upper funnel results. The aided awareness jumped from 6 to 9%. The brand consideration increased from 4 to 7%. The CPC drops 87%, and the CTR skyrocketed. I have to say that our upper funnel campaigns were running at engagement conversions, not sales, but the signals were very clear. The CPA for the engagement conversion dropped from 18.82 to 0.35, which for the upper funnel we were very happy for. And also the external research agency concluded that the brand awareness has risen above the target. But of course, for the hard data, we aren't allowed to call out the absolute numbers in revenue, but we were able to drop the cost per store visit with 47%. It went from 150 to 61. We were able to almost double the average order value. It rose from 479 to 820, and the year-on-year revenue increased by 23% without any extra media budget. As I mentioned, we're not allowed to share the absolute numbers, but as you can imagine, it's about more than a few $100. So our conclusion: we attract more relevant traffic, the right people in the right place at the right time, and it paid off. Uh, we created a blueprint that we could use for other clients of us, of course, that have physical stores, and try the same approach. So it's a scalable one, it's a high impact one, and in the end, of course, was it worth it? Was it worth it? We say yes because we made the ROPO analysis possible. We didn't spend any more media budget. We crushed all targets, and if you put everything together, we got 1,006% return of task force, and that's the extra revenue we realized for the client directly linked to our management fee. So you heard it right. The task force is strong with this one.
Very cool.
This thing
Yeah,
got crazy.
I think it's very cool case because yeah, what the system does or what the strategy is doing is that yeah, you connect offline data points like store performance to online marketing performance, and that is yeah, I like to challenge everybody to if you have clients or maybe you have an own store or multiple stores, how can you incorporate data from yeah your physical locations to the online situation? I think in the next chapters of our yeah jobs, everybody use the same strategy, everybody use the same campaign setup, and you need to look how can you leverage your data to yeah to do better, to do smarter
Yeah,
things. And if you can save budget on stores that aren't performing that well, yeah, you can save money there, or maybe you can push extra money on it to increase foot traffic in the stores. And if you can combine data that way, I think yeah that's the way we'd like to do yeah do our job in this case.
exactly.
So
And
yeah,
I
so I think it's yeah, what do we want to say?
No, I think that like everybody will recognize that at a certain point you're just hitting a ceiling, and you can push your ROAS or your target CPA, but in the end it doesn't bring out more profit or more revenue. And if you hit that ceiling, that's the time when you need to be starting creative. And of course, I also didn't thought about this on my own, but if you get a brainstorm session with a lot of senior good specialists, we thought of this one, and thinking about it is one thing, but actually building it and getting the client to being convinced. But yeah, they're very happy with the results, and I think it paid off as well for us as well for them.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's hit the nail on the head. So what we like to say also is if you guys have a certain challenge within one of your accounts, or yeah, maybe it's cool to organize a sparring session with all of us, and we can think of cool ways to improve the setup. I think that are the coolest things of a job to do that together. So if you like that, please send us a message through LinkedIn or by email or something like that, and then we can maybe host an event like that. We also did in the past with a few colleagues in the field, so I think that's pretty cool.
Sure.
If we go to the questions, in this case, our friend Lars has some questions about the choice for Spotlight Activate. Did you know why our team has chosen for Spotlight? Because there are many similar systems.
Yeah, for sure. As I remember, because it's already almost a year ago, they already had Spotler Activate, and our Spotler specialist told us we can start building in this platform because a lot of things are already in place, or we could, uh, how do you say that, approach them with a new platform, but it will cost more time, more money. So there was a little bit of a split decision that made it possible. The monthly fee, I have to get back to you on that because I don't know that out of the top of my head, but I can check it out. That's no problem.
Yeah. So our experience with Spotler is it's, a little bit. I think the system is pretty good, but if you want to have support from them, they're not that good. There are similar systems, but yeah, we can. If you have any question about that, yeah, we can discuss that because I think there are better options if you don't have Spotlight activated running right now. Yeah, but yeah, let's talk about that. I don't know if Evan anybody has more questions right now. Um, I don't see anything. Oh, Inge is typing, so maybe there's coming question from.
Let's wait for that. How many products were in a shopping campaign per shop? Oh, I don't know the exact amount, but in all the shops we are actually advertising with the same products. unless we noticed after a few months that certain products in certain shops weren't working. And then we tried to exclude them from the feed because we saw that, like in certain shops with a high value income in the environment, in the radius, people were more eager to buy those products. So we also started optimizing the products, but only after we implemented the roadblock and had enough data. But theoretically, all the stores started with the same amount of products.
But no clue how many it is per campaign or per in
I, c-
total.
I, I can check it out. She has like 30 seconds.
Yeah, if you'd like to know that, Inge, then we can come back to you on that part. Yeah, if you want to send me a message or Quint through LinkedIn, we will get back to that.
Well, I can easily log in Google Ads right
Uh,
now.
can you check it right now? Okay.
Yeah, sure. So we were talking about around 5,000 products.
Okay. And that's separated in how many campaigns? 4 campaigns you mentioned.
In those 4 campaigns with the localizer. And of course, we had a lot of other campaigns in the normal labelizer structure regarding the regions that we didn't cover. No worries.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you have any other
Cool.
questions, you can always send us a DM on LinkedIn, no problem.
Okay. There's another question from Brian. For which channels did you implement the offline conversion tracking?
For which, yeah, so the channels I mentioned, so Google Ads, GA4, Meta, those were actually the products or the offline conversion tracking that we implemented, or at least do you mean like how it was being measured or where we were pushing it to? Because it's a
Doesn't
little bit
say,
the same.
but
No,
maybe you can
so
answer both.
yeah, so Meta, Google Ads, GA4, and the email marketing system of Spotlight Activate as well.
Okay, cool. Um, okay, Krijn has also put a question in there. What percentage could you match from email addresses of offline store visits using email addresses that you can import into Google Ads?
Yeah, yeah. So as I mentioned, 100% is a utopia, unfortunately, because we couldn't get like all the email addresses on when people visited the website, because not everybody, of course, wanted to download a brochure or making an account or etc. etc. The match rate, I think it was around 60-70%. But I'll have to check that with our Spotlight Activate specialist.
Yeah, so basically, what you get, of course, if you have a partner or a family, and the one person is looking for a product online, and they come to the store, and maybe they buy on another email address, yeah, then the match rates, of course, the match couldn't happen over there. So that's why that is one reason that it couldn't be 100%, of course.
No.
But yeah, for the exact, we have that somewhere. We can also look it back. I thought it was around 60-70%, and I
Yeah.
think that's pretty okay. I think so. So yeah, if you want to, we can dive into that. Other question from Brian: did you only use email address or
Uh,
also Gclit and Facebook Click
also a
ID?
good, also a good question. I think only the email addresses, because ideally, of course, like you want to implement the Gclit plus the email address and make like the best approach. But we wanted that also organic visitors, we could use their email addresses as well, of course, because if we just would say, okay, just show a pop-up of a brochure or create an account in a web shop, and people weren't coming in via Google Ads or a Meta ad, we would say that those people were not relevant, but they were of course relevant. So where we could, we used them, but in the end we didn't were able, of course, to catch them everywhere. People that were going direct to the web shop. Um, so a combination of.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Brian? Yes. Okay. That's great. So basically, I don't see other questions right now. So I think, yeah, it's fair to say that we can jump to the end. So what I told earlier, I think if anybody wants to talk about to discuss maybe some topics for your own client or maybe for uh, yeah yeah go break to the ceiling for your own clients or your own account, we are always happy to discuss. So what we also like to do is to arrange some work session through the Netherlands. So maybe we can arrange a day that we come together with us all and have a nice day. That's always what we do with our own team, but yeah, maybe we can do it with anybody who likes it. And for now, I guess, uh, it, I think we are done for
I think
today.
I think this is perfect. 30 minutes max.
Yeah,
Everybody got
that's
inspired,
cool.
hopefully. And
So if you want, yeah, so if you want to look it back, the recordings are pushed to YouTube in a few minutes. Maybe you can show your colleagues if you want to. And I would like to thank you for your presence today. And yeah, if you have questions, please let us know. And we hope to see you the next time where we discuss another topic. So enjoy your holidays already, and we hope to see you at the next time. So thank you.
awesome. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for
Goodbye.
listening.
Bye.